You've heard it all before. Resolutions, tips, and hacks to transform your life in a month. Eat healthier, wake up earlier, exercise daily, save money. The advice piles up, promising quick results and instant transformation. But here's the hard truth. None of that will work until you shift your foundation. These tips are like band-aids on a deeper wound. They may cover the surface, but they don't address the root cause. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Breathe in deeply. And as you exhale, let go of all the noise, the external pressures, the guilt of past failures, and the endless should-haves. Now ask yourself, why am I still stuck? Why does my comeback always feel like it's waiting for tomorrow? A tomorrow that never arrives. Is it because you lack motivation, discipline, resources? Or perhaps the problem is deeper. Your foundation, the core of your habits and beliefs, is shaky. Like trying to build a skyscraper on sand, no amount of effort will hold if the base isn't strong. In Zen, we learn that life isn't about shortcuts or chasing after distant goals. It's about presence. It's about showing up fully in this moment. Not for the sake of a shiny result, but for the sake of experiencing the journey itself. Change doesn't come from rushing ahead. It comes from alignment, from being in tune with yourself and your purpose. Let go of the idea that transformation is a destination and embrace it as a daily practice. So as we step into 2025, let me guide you, not with promises of quick fixes, but with a path toward rebuilding yourself from the ground up. Not through force or willpower alone, but through alignment, awareness, and intentional action. This is your year, and it starts now. Understanding the root of struggle. Why do we often find ourselves stuck in the same cycle, even when we know better? Scrolling endlessly on social media, binge-watching shows, indulging in junk food, or chasing fleeting pleasures. It's not because we're lazy or weak. It's because our brains are wired to seek comfort and avoid discomfort. This is a survival mechanism deeply embedded in our biology, and modern life has turned it into a trap. What you're experiencing isn't a lack of willpower. It's what science calls dopamine addiction. Dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical, is released when we experience something pleasurable, be it a funny meme, a new notification, or a tasty snack. The more we indulge in these quick dopamine hits, the more our brains crave them. Over time, this creates a feedback loop where we prioritize the easy, short-term rewards over the harder, long-term gains. Here's the truth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you choose to step outside it, when you make the conscious decision to nurture your soul rather than simply entertain it. But let's be clear, this isn't a call to shame yourself for seeking comfort. In fact, it's the opposite. This behavior isn't failure, it's nature. It's how your brain was designed to function. The key isn't to resist this natural tendency, but to recalibrate it. Think of it like training a muscle. You don't fight against your body. You work with it, pushing its limits to grow stronger over time. Recalibration means retraining your brain to find satisfaction in meaningful, long-term actions rather than in fleeting, instant rewards. This process isn't easy. In fact, it's uncomfortable, especially at first. When you stop indulging in quick dopamine fixes, your brain enters a state of withdrawal. You might feel restless, bored, or even like you're failing. But this isn't failure, it's progress. It's a sign that your brain is learning to adapt, to recalibrate. This is where the wisdom of the Stoics becomes invaluable. As Marcus Aurelius famously said, "You have power over your mind, not the events around you. Realize this, and you will find strength." What does this mean in practice? It means understanding that the world will always present distractions, temptations, and challenges. You can't control the noise around you, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to say no to the fleeting comforts that drain your energy, and yes to the actions that align with your purpose. It's not about rejecting comfort entirely, but about redefining it. True comfort isn't found in endless scrolling or mindless entertainment. It's found in the quiet pride of knowing you've done the hard, meaningful work. It's in the satisfaction of building a life aligned with your values, one disciplined choice at a time. So the next time you find yourself reaching for an easy escape, pause. Ask yourself, is this feeding my growth or my craving? Choose growth. Step outside your comfort zone. Recalibrate your mind. And remember, this isn't a battle you're fighting against yourself. It's a journey of rediscovering your strength and reclaiming your power. Embrace discipline, not motivation. Motivation is a spark. It's bright, exciting, and energizing, but it fades just as quickly as it appears. It's the burst of energy that gets you started but rarely sees you through. If you rely solely on motivation, you'll find yourself stuck in a cycle of starts and stops, waiting for that next spark to ignite. True change, however, doesn't come from fleeting motivation. It comes from discipline, the quiet, unshakable consistency of doing what's hard over and over until it becomes second nature. Discipline isn't flashy. It doesn't come with a rush of excitement or immediate gratification. It's waking up early on days when you don't feel like it, eating healthy when junk food is calling your name, and putting in the work even when you're tired. Discipline is the foundation of all lasting change because it doesn't rely on how you feel in the moment. It relies on your commitment to your goals. Start small, build slowly. Big transformations begin with small, intentional steps. Think of January and February as your foundation, your time to plant seeds. You don't need to overhaul your entire life in one go. Instead, focus on one habit at a time. Let's take mindful eating as an example. For the first month, commit to eating mindfully for 5 days a week. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you're making a conscious effort to eat without distractions, savor your food, and make healthier choices most of the time. By February, progress to 7 days a week. But remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's intention. Even if you stumble, the key is to get back on track. This process isn't about making drastic changes overnight. It's about creating sustainable habits that become part of who you are. Each small victory builds momentum, and over time, these small wins compound into significant transformations. Reflect, adjust, and grow. Discipline isn't just about action, it's also about awareness. At the end of each week, take time to reflect. Write down your progress, what you did well, what distracted you, and what you learned. Were there specific moments when you felt tempted to give up? What triggered those moments, and how can you handle them better next time? At the end of each month, compare your progress to where you started. Notice the subtle but powerful shifts in your behavior, mindset, and results. Growth is rarely immediate or dramatic. It's slow, steady, and often invisible at first. Like the roots of a tree growing deep into the soil before it begins to reach for the sky. But with patience and consistency, those roots form a foundation strong enough to support incredible growth. The discipline mindset. When you embrace discipline, you shift your mindset from, what do I feel like doing today? To, what needs to be done today? It's no longer about waiting for the right moment or the right mood. It's about showing up, rain or shine, and doing the work because it aligns with who you want to become. Over time, discipline becomes less about effort and more about identity. You no longer have to force yourself to eat mindfully, exercise, or work on your goals. It becomes part of who you are. And that's the ultimate transformation. When the habits you once struggled with become second nature, and the person you've always wanted to be is simply you. So as you begin your journey in 2025, don't chase motivation. Build discipline. Start small. reflect often, grow steadily, and trust that with every disciplined action, you're creating the foundation for a life that is not just improved, but transformed. Stop chasing happiness. Happiness is fleeting. Chase purpose instead. Happiness is the shadow of purpose, a byproduct of living with intention. This year, let go of the need for external validation. Don't improve for likes, comments, or applause. Improve because every step forward is an act of self-respect. The journey itself is the reward. The small moments of choosing discipline over ease, purpose over distraction, these are your victories. Divide the first 6 months of 2025 into 3 segments, 2 months for each habit, one at a time. Begin with mindfulness in eating, then perhaps in movement, and finally in thought. There is no rush. Progress is not a race, it's a rhythm. Follow your rhythm, not someone else's. And when it gets hard, remember, growth is hard. But within the discomfort lies your strength. Write down one thing you'll do today to begin. Then, simply begin. The greatest comeback isn't about dramatic transformations. It's about quiet, daily progress. Step by step, breath by breath. So close this video. Write your intention. And take the first step toward rebuilding yourself. Not tomorrow, but today. Until next time, stay grounded, stay present, and make 2025 your greatest comeback yet.